Oh yes, for entertainment purposes only. Yeah, right. I took a little bit of this video. I've never heard this before. I think, one second, we're just going to go to Facebook. Now this is the video. I've never heard any of this before. So basically, supposedly, Ghislaine Maxwell had durables which she took the rich and famous on them, because then you couldn't they didn't have to show their passports, and she was taking them to their island, so they didn't need passports, because it's or they took the passports there, but they're not going to show the passports to the world, are they? It was a sovereign country, and it talks about music and things, but you can watch that whole video on Facebook if you put that heading in, and it says this, which you can read yourself. I think this one has happened now, hasn't it? Anyway, it just says up here, he lives off high profile Heist and Battle East. Where is he? The Guy Fawkes has flown the coop, unable to live with himself, doing the swamp's dirty work. He has struck out on his own, gone deep underground as he lives off the blah blah blah. Yeah. What, for reading something that was true? Anyway, let's just watch his little video. Anyway, I'll show you my favourite picture of this whole thing with Ghislaine Maxwell as well. And for all that, you can't run a business in prison, so whatever they were reporting in the papers meant nothing the moment she supposedly hit prison. But I don't understand why you would withhold all that information, that you find it out years later that she had a durable. I was going to be making a little video about Trump. Amy and I are going to talk about that. Oh, not me, Amy, but
yes.
What it was is that we just wanted to get into who we think this person is. When I saw this picture from a distance, it's Helen Mirren. Helen Mirren, an English actress. Look, many pictures of her. It's Helen. What the hell? It's the same picture.
I know. I know. It's crazy. You have a great eye that you picked that out, Karen. Wow.
But for entertainment purposes only. Let's watch the video.
Ladies and gentlemen, a reading from the work in progress, The Great Reset, Volume 3, The Fist of God. Ghislaine Maxwell, girlfriend of Jeffrey Epstein and daughter of Mossad legend Robert Maxwell, owns a mysterious company called Terramar. Its base is a Manhattan property owned by the notorious Hensel family, was funded by the Clinton Foundation, and is considered a micronation with UN-issued passports for the ocean, which offers its citizens diplomatic immunity. Emir Dosal, the special representative of the Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union for Global Partnership, said, and I quote, "I want to introduce the founder of the Terramar project. She controls the oceans around the world. If you look up the website, you have the option to buy up parts of the ocean through her. I invite my dear friend Ghislaine Maxwell to tell us how to own the oceans." Val made a face of bewilderment. How can you own the ocean? Here's a picture of her, Priya said, enlarging a photo, being helped by a dockhand out of a small personal submersible. Is that like a submarine? Guy asked. Priya rolled her eyes. Yes, she said testily, a submersible is a submarine. She then edged herself sideways to turn at least some of her back to him, symbolically excluding him from the conversation. She likes to travel underwater and is sometimes gone for days at a time. But to where? That's the great thing about it. She cannot be tracked. I have reason to believe she has several underwater resorts, almost as big as small cities, where people can spend all the time they want away from the prying eyes of society, doing the kinds of things Maxwell and Epstein were offering on Sex Slave Island. Jesucristo, Valentina whispered. Exactly, Priya said, warming to her. At a UN conference, she did a presentation and said that through Terramar, she was actually representing the interests of Jeffrey Epstein and the Clinton Foundation, which seeded her project with millions of dollars in funding. But since his arrest and so-called suicide, it's come to light what his real interests were, so I started digging to find out how they were represented. Is Terramar part of a vast ocean child trafficking network? So, a year and a half ago, Epstein famously committed suicide. His death was extremely suspicious, and he was either murdered to protect the people he'd been blackmailing, or his death was faked, and he was transported out of the facility. The guards fell asleep, and the security cameras malfunctioned at the same time he died, which seems a bit too convenient. I thought the same thing, Valentina said, nodding. Priya nodded too, continuing. Maxwell faces 6 charges, including enticement of minors, sex trafficking of children, and perjury. For at least 10 years, she allegedly assisted, facilitated, and contributed to Epstein's abuse of children as young as 14. Now, have a look at this. Priya pulled up another photo. According to permit records referenced by NBC News, this blue and white striped building on Epstein Island was supposed to be a music pavilion. When the FBI raided the island, they discovered an underwater port to dock submarines, many levels below a labyrinth of occult worship rooms. So all kinds of people could arrive, Val murmured, without being recorded on flight logs. Exactly, Priya said, nodding gravely, the kind of people who can afford submarines. You said something about immunity, Val prompted. During Maxwell's testimony last October, when she was asked for her citizenship, she replied, Terramar. Some unit in the UN had given passports in the name of Terramar, a sovereign territory. Terramar was meant to provide Maxwell and her cohorts with diplomatic immunity, but I don't think it worked out.